Hello, welcome to HBM's UFO Corner. We're going to be talking about an F-4 jet chase over Iran in 1976. The date was September 18th, so we're talking 48 years. Location, Tehran, Iran. One of the best documented UFO aircraft incidents when the UFO was observed flying over the restricted airspace of Tehran, Iran. Two U.S.-made F-4 Phantom II jet fighters of the Imperial Iranian Air Force were scrambled, but as the pilots closed in on the target, their communications and weapon systems were suddenly jammed. The incident was confirmed by high-ranking officers of the Iranian Air Force and later documented by several agencies of the U.S. military. And this is a sketch, a drawing based on a sketch and description by witness Peruzzi. It was rectangular in shape at a height of about 6,000 feet. The right end was blue, the left end was blue, and in the middle was a red light making a circular motion. He thought that the object was probably cylindrical. And this is an F-4 Phantom II jet fighter plane. Classification and features. Type of case/report, major case. Hynek classification, special features/characteristics, EM effects, radar, pilot/aircrew, military. Here are some more articles on the case. But here's a full report. One of the best documented UFO aircraft incidents took place over the skies of Tehran, Iran, on the night of September 18th and 19th, 1976, when the UFO was observed flying over the capital's restricted airspace. Two U.S.-made F-4 Phantom II jet fighters of the Imperial Iranian Air Force were scrambled, but as the pilots closed in on the target, their communications and weapon systems were suddenly jammed. The incident was confirmed by high-ranking officers of the Iranian Air Force and later documented by several agencies of the U.S. military. Lieutenant General Azar Barzin, Deputy Commander-in-Chief of Operations of the Imperial Iranian Air Force, confirmed in the 1977 interview the strong electromagnetic effect experienced by the two F-4s. That is true. They both were scrambled and they locked on the target, but they received a very strong jamming. And then they lost almost every avionics system they had on the airplane. The jets couldn't fire their missiles because they had very strong jamming. This technology UFO was using for jamming was something we haven't had before and we don't have it. It doesn't exist because it was a very wide band that could jam different bands, different frequencies at the same time. It's very unusual. General Nader Yousefi, Base Operations Commander and the number 3 man in the Imperial Iranian Air Force, authorized the scramble mission and was also an eyewitness, as described in a recent TV interview. I put down my phone with the control tower and I ran to my balcony to see if I could see that object. I saw a big star among the other stars, which was at least twice as large as the normal stars. It was all around 12 miles. We lost communication and I heard nothing from the pilots. So I was so scared what's going to happen and what happened to the pilots. I asked from the tower controller to tell them to continue their mission and see if they can get more information from the flying object. And UFO, was coming toward them. They tried to shoot them down. When they squeezed the trigger, it didn't work and the trigger was inoperative. They couldn't shoot the missiles. Between 10:30 and 11:15 p.m. on September 18th, several calls were received by the control tower at Mehrabad Airport, reporting an unknown object hovering 1,000 feet above the ground in the northern section of Tehran. The night shift supervisor, Hossein Peruzzi, initially didn't pay too much attention. The radar system was turned off since it was under repair. After he received the fourth telephone call at 11:15 p.m., Peruzzi went to the terrace next to the tower and observed the UFO with binoculars. Suddenly I saw it. It was rectangular in shape, probably 7 to 8 meters, 24 to 27 feet long, and about 2 meters, 7 feet wide. From later observations I made, I would say it was probably cylindrical. The two ends were pulsating with a whitish blue color. Around the midsection of the cylinder there was this small red light that kept going around in a circle. I was amazed. I didn't know what to think. There definitely was a very strange object there in the sky right over Tehran. So we have an incident which has been reported by the Imperial Iranian Air Force, apparently confirmed by several eyewitnesses. This sounds pretty credible to me because these are individuals, especially the pilots, who are trained observers. Think about that. And it sounds to me like Iran is not quite as strict with their interpretations as U.S. government is. Our government would probably just try to cover it up. But the Iranian Air Force, the Imperial Iranian Air Force, is like, yes, this happened. This absolutely happened. And here's the report on it. And think about this. We're talking about United States crafted F-4 Phantom jet fighters chasing this thing. "48 years ago. That's how long ago it was. I give this report a pretty high credibility rating based on the fact that several witnesses saw it. Based on the fact that they were all military men and trained observers. I suppose if you are a military man, you'd have to be pretty highly trained, a highly trained observer. I don't see the possibility of people in the military lying about this or being deluded. It would have to be mass hallucination for several eyewitnesses to claim, yes, we saw a UFO. And they had a pretty consistent description of it, of the UFO, or the UAP, Unidentified Aerial Phenomenon. So this is a case that certainly makes me wonder. And that's going to do it for this week. We want to thank you very much for tuning in. You guys are at the heart of the show. And next week we're going to be examining the Canadian UFO scene. Yes, our neighbors to the north. There have been several UFO reports in Canada. I'm going to be discussing that a week from now. So until then, y'all be good or be good at it. It's HBM's UFO Corner.